DMs, why are you not using Dungeon Alchemist? Greetings and welcome back to another D&D-tastic episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host as always, Dungeon Master Geycen. With us today is nothing. Actually, we've got Dungeon Alchemist. If you guys have never heard of Dungeon Alchemist, it's a map-making software for Dungeons & Dragons virtual tabletops, or you can even print them out if you want. Now, this isn't outside of my wheelhouse. I don't normally do this. I'd honestly plan on doing a Twix cookies and cream review today, but something struck me while I was in the shower. No, it wasn't a meteor. No, it wasn't a magic missile. It was something that just hit me inside and said, you know what? The people need to know about Dungeon Alchemist. So I'm going to walk you through some real basic steps here. Let me minimize myself so you don't have to see my ugly mug anymore. And here we go. When you open up Dungeon Alchemist for the first time, you're going to see something like this. I like to just go right to File New. Now, this is where the meat and the potatoes are. This is where you're going to decide a lot of things for yourself. You're going to go digital. You're going to export it to Roll20 or Foundry or one of the many other VTTs out there. There's a lot of options out there, and it's really easy to integrate, I know, with Roll20 because I've been doing it in my game myself. So you got these options. But anything larger than a 50 by 50 they consider a large map, and that can cause problems with bandwidth when people are connecting to your game and stuff. So I try to keep it around 50 to 50 or under, but there are some cases where I really enjoy just creating a huge open landscape. So let's start with a 40 by 40. That's still a good size because you figure 40 by 40 is 200 by 200 feet. So you got a lot to work with here. Now, your options as of the moment are dark parchment. If you don't want anything in the background, you can just have a simple parchment. There's the Badlands, there's the caves, desert, forest, grasslands, jungle, skeletal plains, and snow. My game has recently gone into the desert. We're going to avoid the desert for now. Caves are interesting in this, but they're a little bit harder to work with, and I just want to show you guys the basics. So we're just going to go with, let's go grasslands. We'll do, a meadow, and we'll add a little... We'll add a river in here. And all you do is create, and so that gives you the basic landscape. It's going to give you the 40 by 40 tile of whatever you asked it to do with nothing on it. It's just going to be, plain Jane, how you doing? Here we are. Okay, so let's zoom out, see if we can get as much of this 40 by 40 on here as possible. And it's added a little river that's gone through. Now, this is a nice little village. What does the village need? Here you go. These are your options for actually rooms that you can create. Now, you've got abandoned ruins with all these options on here, the chapel, the hovel, the mansion, the spider lair, the temple, and they're decorated in their own way so that they're all very unique to each other. I'm very much looking forward to Dungeon Alchemist adding more rooms and room types in the future. I know right now they're working on rounded rooms and angular walls because right now you can only do squares and rectangles, which isn't a bad thing. I'm telling you right now, DMs, if you're not using this, it is worth all $39.99, every cent of it. I would have paid, now that I've used it for about 6 months now, I would have paid 3 times the cost of that just because this has saved me so much time and it's a dream to work with. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's start with a tavern. We're going to put a tavern in this town and we need a great hall for this tavern. So what's a good size for a great hall? I don't know. This is by 5 here. So let's do, I don't know. Let's do 6 by 8. Hit the check mark. And biggity bam. Right like that, you've got a very simple tavern. Now, this is just a great room. You can go on to add, a hallway. Maybe there's a hallway that runs to the side here, and there's some rooms that are going to be off to the end. Is it a big hallway? No, it's just a little hallway. And, of course, they rent the rooms out of here, so we're going to do a few 4x4 rooms. Oh, no, can't do that. Got to do them one at a time. There's our first 4x4 bedroom. Let's go ahead and add another 4x4 bedroom over here. Now they can rent the place out if they want. Oh, they got to make their brew. What are they going to do? They need a brewery. Maybe it's not attached. Maybe they're afraid of, the place burning down. So they got a huge 8x8 brewery over here, which equals 40 by 40. This is enormous. That's where they store their kegs. You know what? I don't like the way that room came out. I hate it so much. So what can we do about that? We go up here to the Edit Room tool. You select which room you're working on. You can delete all the objects, or you can refresh the room. So if you want, something that's horrible, come on, give me something different. A lot of times when you do this, it'll give you like a whole operation. The whole thing will change, the dynamics of it, the floor, the walls. The thing is if you're exporting this to a VTT, the walls don't really matter as much because you can't really see them. But windows, doors, and lights do carry over to Roll20. So you don't have to go in and plug those all in. They're all there for you. Just copy and paste the script. You're good to go. This town's getting a little boring here. What else does this town need? Let's go with a village. Oh, they need a butcher's shop. Who doesn't need a butcher shop? It's right next to the brewery. Actually, there's a little alley in between them. Sometimes they exchange goods there, in their off hours. But like I'm showing you here, it's that easy to just go ahead and, add all these things. And as you go along, if you don't like it, you can undo them. You can change them. Maybe it's, wait. Oh, damn it. You know what? I forgot. I forgot it's nighttime when they're going to get here. So boom, there it is, nighttime. You want it at sunset? Here you go. Your party arrives at sunset in this little village. Not much in the little village, but, it's got something. Terrain. Let's talk about terrain just really briefly. You can raise, lower, flatten to room level. You can set the room level to 3 different layers. You can do water level, plateau, and then mountaintop. So that's kind of a neat feature. I wish it was a little bit more customizable. I wish whenever I built anything, I could select which height I wanted it at, because sometimes I'm doing a tower that's on the top of a mountain that the party has to climb up to get to, and I want to be able to show that as best as I can. I've been running Dungeons and Dragons game for about 30 years, and I love running D&D games. I've always enjoyed it, but I will tell you one thing: ever since transitioning over to online with VTT, ever since 2020 and the pandemic, I've grown to love it more and more. As much as I absolutely adore and love sitting around a table with my friends and playing D&D and eating pretzels and drinking and ordering pizza or whatever you do in those nights, this really simplifies the whole process. And I tell you, the rule system makes so much more sense when you start playing this way and you playing with heights and depths and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I would love to get to the point, and I'm sure One D&D is going to put out their version, whatever the hell it is, of their VTT that will be more video game than anything else. But the one feature I like about this too is, like, if let's say we want this river to have turned to blood, boom, we can change that. If we want to put a little pathway, there's a little dirt pathway. You can set the size of all of this stuff here and just come. Where's my cursor? There we go. Okay, so yeah, you can just kind of create little pathways down to the Blood River, and maybe there's a little path that goes over here. And you can set how heavily you want that to be and how big you want the brush, of course. So, you could have a large patch of dirt over here. I don't know. And like I was saying before, there's a lot of things about this, like as you're going along, if you're like, man, I forgot that it's supposed to be, daytime, nighttime. You can also change kind of the terrain a little bit. You can change it from grasslands to whatever you want. So why don't we take a look at the forest for the hell of it? We'll do an evergreen clearing, and we'll do a flooded mountain, because I have no idea what that's going to look like. And biggity bam. We hit that. It's going to reset everything for us. Messing around with Dungeon Alchemist, you could spend hours and days just digging in deeper and deeper with the things that you can do with it and with the things that are coming. But let's say you needed a statue of something specific that you couldn't find. There is now an online community. You can go out and browse maps. You can go browse assets. You can sort them. Let's see, the most popular of all time asset is this bridge. But if we needed a statue, we can just do a search for statue, and boom, we've got tons of options that people have created and uploaded. And I love that this is such a community effort here to build things, and some of the maps are phenomenal. And if you just want to browse what they have, perhaps you're just looking for furniture, you can go into furniture, chairs. Let's see what people have made for chairs. Boom, you got chairs you can download. And lastly, I'll show you the maps, and then I'll let you guys go. But this is really just scratching the absolute surface of what this software can do. I wish I had the time to sit here with you and show you every little facet of it. And maybe if you guys like this video, let me know in the comments below. Also subscribe if you love the content that I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you're watching. But if you guys are digging it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do more of these videos. I'll dig a little deeper. Maybe we'll do some fan request stuff if you guys have any maps. This is really neat. Maps, for the most part, I really enjoy making my own maps. It's fun, it's easy, but there are some times when it gets to the point where I'm like, I need a castle and I want this, that, and the other, but I just can't take the time to do it, or the game is coming up that night and I don't have prepared. I can come in here and just do a search for, let's say a casino. Maybe I need a casino in the game. I don't know why. There you go. Boom. You got the Infernal Casino. And then after you open these maps, you're welcome to edit them any way you want. You can change, like I said, the landscape, or you can change every little facet of it. The cool thing about this is you can spend as little time as you want with it and create something amazing for your game that happens in 30 minutes, or you could spend days just tweaking where every little fork and knife and apple goes goes in a scene. I tell you, I mean, for $39.99, this is like a wonder to me. Like I said, I have been running games for 30 years, and in the beginning, it was all just graph paper. I still have a lot of my graph paper notebooks of the days that I would spend just mapping out these mazes, and it's truly an evolution, D&D, and I want to talk about in another video where, you know, things started out that way, and then the tabletop became such a fascinating landscape where it wasn't just a grid anymore. People were creating things. I started getting into crafting. If you guys want to go back, I did a few videos where I was doing some crafting for D&D. I really enjoy that stuff, but I just don't have the time, the space, the energy to store it, or the desire. I just don't run a table anymore. But that's what I'm talking about with the evolution, where it started out with pen and paper. Then all of a sudden you start getting to these crafting, these cool things with the miniatures you could do on the tables. And now we're at this point with the VTTs where the software is just so far beyond anything I could have imagined 30 years ago when I was sitting down and graphing out, you know, mazes and castles and stuff. So I really hope you guys have loved this video. And if you have, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and hitting the little bell icon, because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit nerdier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodkast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.